You guys see that image that Pierre Poilievre posted the other day? Or there was a video, I should say. I was going to play it, but the volume has been really low on some of these videos for some reason. But it was basically Pierre Poilievre demonstrating that in order to actually reach $1 trillion, like to give you the visual of it, you would have to stack, $100 bills, I think higher than like the CN Tower, like way higher than the CN Tower. Something like that, like some crazy number, some crazy amount of dollars spent. Well, Pierre's going to break that down. It's called the $1 trillion tower of credit card debt. That's what happens when you vote Liberal. As we know, the spending is ridiculous. So I have this clip and a couple others to show you guys. Now, before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps grow the channel, and I appreciate you guys so much for that. So let's have a look, and then we'll talk about it.
$1 trillion. That's trillion with a T. That's how much debt the Liberals will have added from the time they took office in 2015 until their current fiscal plan runs out in 2030-31.
And by the way, just for people saying that, oh, Mark Carney's a new guy, it's not his fault. Well, he's been here for the past year, and he was also advising Trudeau economically for 5. So he's got his hand in on this too, not just for the last year, but for the last 6 years.
The Carney-Trudeau Liberals have therefore added twice as much debt as all other governments combined, going back to before Canada was even a country. In fact, Mark Carney is adding debt at twice the rate that Justin Trudeau was, the deficit having gone from $31 billion under Trudeau to $65 billion under Carney. We're spending more on interest than we are on health care, on the military, and more than we collect in the GST. So every single time you make a GST purchase and payment, that money goes to bankers and bondholders, not to doctors and nurses. And just to put into perspective how much $1 trillion is, look behind me. That is the CN Tower. If you stacked up $100 bills until they added up to $1 trillion, you would create a tower of money that is 1,500 times taller than the CN Tower behind me.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was going to be like around the same height as a CN. Oh, it's 1,500 times. Let's get that right. 1,500 times taller than the CN Tower. See, that's how hard it is to visualize $1 trillion because it's so much money. And what do we have to show for it? Drive around this downtown Toronto area. Some stupid-ass Liberal riding. What are you going to see? Potholes. Go a little bit further into the suburbs, or not the suburbs, but a little bit outside of downtown, or even in other parts of downtown, you'll see homeless people, you'll see drug addicts, you'll see people pissing on the street, amongst other things as well. So what do we get for all this money? Nothing.
100 times taller than the CN Tower behind me. It would go twice as far into outer space as the International Space Station. Imagine that. The Tower of Liberal debt is 1,500 times bigger than the CN Tower and twice as far into space as the International Space Station. That is credit card budgeting, my friends. You pay the interest and the bankers and bondholders get the profit. More inflation today and more taxes tomorrow. If we want to change this, we have to get rid of credit card budgeting and bring back common sense budgeting. A conservative plan would bring in a dollar for dollar law. Every dollar of new spending must be matched by a dollar of savings. We cut.
That's actually what Bill Clinton did in the 90s, by the way. Now, I'm not saying Pierre should do other things Bill Clinton did. You got to keep your pants on, but, stay away from certain islands. But, economically, Bill Clinton was actually very good. And Pierre's taking a page out of his book. In the 90s, for those of you who remember, and I was just a little kid, but life was much, much more affordable then compared to what it is now.
Bureaucracy, consultants, foreign aid, handouts to fake and phony refugees, corporate welfare. We'd close offshore tax havens like those that Mark Carney's Brookfield uses to become the biggest tax dodger in the world. In doing that, we can bring down debt, taxes, and inflation. And instead of building towers of debt, we can build more great towers of achievement like the CN Tower, or like pipelines and rail lines, transmission lines, other things that actually generate paychecks rather than credit card bills. That's how we turn the tower of Liberal debt into many towers of opportunity and affordability for you.
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if our government spent money that actually did something for us, instead of sending it to other countries and, well, basically just wasting it, scandals, scams. Remember the Arrive scam app? $60 million to create an app that should have cost a few $100,000. And of course it was Trudeau's buddies who were creating the app. You know, they got some money under the table. It's just, it's sad to say, but Canadians voted for more pain. They voted for this. And I don't want to hear any of this, whoa, I didn't know. There are plenty of us so-called conspiracy theorists who are telling you about this guy. He was the governor of the Bank of England and the governor of Bank of Canada. It did not go well. He's just a money printer. Just print more money. Who cares? We're not going to foot the consequences of it. And when he's finished, when Carney was finished with Canada, what's he going to do? Stay here and live here and help restore the country? No, he's going to go back to Europe, which is where he spent most of his life. Or hell, maybe he'll just go down to the States with his family and his investments and his former company. You know, the whole elbows up plan. I guess he's kind of flip-flop on that, hasn't he? Anyway, got another video here from Pierre Poilievre. It says, Carney's liberal golden rule and the price you pay for it. Let's have a look at this as well, and then we'll talk about it after.
So he has no wealth to put into
There's not very many politicians that are willing to actually call this out. So next time you hear someone say, oh, they're all the same, Pierre Poilievre is just as bad as Mark Carney, show them this. Show them the affordability rate. Show them the crime rates, the violent crime rates between, you know, the Liberals and the Conservatives over the last 20 years. There are differences. I'm not saying the Conservatives are perfect, but they're different enough. It's worth voting for them, because we cannot continue with this Liberal government, and there's too many sheeple out there who will just keep voting for them. That's just the way it is. Now, I got this one last clip here. Ryan Garrettson posted this. One of the most informative 3 minutes with Committee Chair MP John Brassard discussing the importance of an open and transparent committee. Now, of course, you all heard, I'm sure, that they've been turning the cameras off, I think 4 times last week. I wonder what they're hiding, because obviously they're hiding something, or they wouldn't turn the cameras off, right? So let's hear what MP John Brassard has to say.
I do want to answer. I do want to answer the one question about collaboration. I know. Look, we all saw Steve out there talking about the last year. There's been collaboration. To the Liberals, collaboration is a one-way street. And if you look at what happened last week, they waited till the writs dropped. They moved closure on that motion. The motion was voted on, and within 5 minutes at the Ethics Committee, they came in and shut down debate on the motion. So, when Canadians elected government a year ago, it was based on a minority. And over the last year, we've seen a lot of work at committees. We've seen a lot of things exposed because the opposition had the majority, just like we have over the last 2 terms, right? If it wasn't for the committees, the Winnipeg Lab scandal would never have happened. The We Charity scandal would never have happened, would never have seen the light of day. The Arrive can, which I referred to earlier, which has the potential through Prescribe IT to be the same type of scandal, all of those things came as a result of committee oversight and committee work and being able to produce documents, compel witnesses. We even had one of the Arrive can people appear at the bar. If it wasn't for the work of committees, we run a risk now of everything being moved in secret. We also run a risk of not being able to get to the bottom of things as the Liberals control it. They will have many procedural tools in their box to shut down committees' work, to move things in secret, to adjourn debates or adjourn meetings with this newfound majority, and to water down motions. And this is something that all of us need to keep an eye out. When you saw some of these motions, and I referred to Dan Mazur's motion, look at the original motion and look at the motion that came out of in camera. You'll see how significantly it's watered down. So Canadians aren't going to get the answers that they deserve. Parliamentarians aren't going to get the answers they deserve because of what they're doing to committees right now. So it's time, as I said at the beginning, that Steve McKinnon, the House Leader, either puts up or shuts up. If he's sincere in what he said, he will let the committees do their work and move motions as appropriate.
Is there a good use of going in camera? Like, what would, in your mind, be a proper use of in camera versus not?
When we're planning meetings, when we're talking about witnesses' appearance, when we're drafting reports before they're presented to the House, that is a good use of in-camera meetings. Abusing in-camera meetings to disrupt the work of parliamentary committees is not a good use of it. Moving things in secret in a parliamentary democracy is never a good thing for transparency, accountability, and oversight. This is not a Brookfield boardroom. This is a parliament, a parliamentary democracy, and Canadians deserve to know the answers. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Well, he's right. We do deserve the answers, and we need more people to speak up because this is getting absolutely ridiculous. And everyone thought this guy was going to come in here, this Mark Carney guy was going to come in here and move Canada in the good direction, and there wouldn't be these scandals and there wouldn't be these shady dealings. The economy's going to grow. This guy knows money. He's going to get things done. He's the one who can get a deal with Trump. And everything is getting worse. And what do? Don't worry, guys. Here's a $500 rebate that most of you won't even get in June. Elbows up.